Carrying gas masks and their names on a label, they filed out to the railway stations from which they would entrain on the declaration of hostilities. Beyond that point, the rehearsal could not be pressed without disorganizing the railway services.
By the middle of 1939, it was clear that Hitler was looking to Poland as his next victim. In Britain, public opinion hardened against his aggression.
Vile, what a tyrant, absolute tyrant Hitler was, you know. He double-crossing swine, wasn't he?
But Britain is prepared, ready to shoulder her responsibilities and face every peril which may be forthcoming. The personnel of the defense forces has increased rapidly in the face of danger. The anti-aircraft units, efficient and magnificently organized, inspire that utmost confidence which we know to exist in these isles. Returning to the civilian aspect of these feverish days, here is a poignant comment on the times in which we live. Invalids, young and old, many of them helpless, are transferred from their hospitals to places of greater safety. At any rate, evacuation is carried out with maximum speed and minimum discomfort. The efficiency with which these schemes of evacuation have been planned and executed is a consoling thought and a matter of congratulation to the organizers. The departure of the children in particular has been a triumph of orderly precision. From cities and towns, children in their thousands have left their parents behind and been drafted off to safety zones.
We had a notice from the school saying that the children were being evacuated, and so we were told, we were given a list of articles they were to take, a small case with a change of underclothes, spare socks, underwear, a raincoat, a top coat, plus their gas mask, which they wore around their neck.
And here, another consoling thought, most of the children themselves have gone off cheerfully enough. For them, fortunately, the whole procedure seems to hold no terrors and is even regarded as just another holiday.
The last we saw of our kids, we gave them a last kiss and a hug, and there were lots of tears flowing among the parents and the children. And off went the train, carrying the children into the unknown, and that's the last we saw of them. We went back home, and we sat in the empty house looking at each other, wondering if we'd done the right thing.
With food and clothing provided by their parents, and each carrying a gas mask, they entrained for their excitingly unknown destination.
I was about 7 years of age at the time. I can remember, going to the mainline station and palling up with a chap who was about 4 years older than I was, a chap called Brian Stringer from Battersea. And I don't think my mother was too pleased at the time, but we actually finished up being billeted together in a farmhouse in Dolphin Home in Lancashire.
How long will they be away? How long before they again live beneath the same roof with their parents? How is it possible for them to understand that the routine of their daily lives has been shattered by one man hundreds of miles away in a country they have never seen? That it has been brought about by what Mr. Chamberlain has described as the senseless ambition of this one man.
We spent 6.5 months together on the farm, I say near to Dolphin Home, just about 2 miles outside, near a little tiny hamlet called Bay Horse. But I had a really great time. Actually, I can remember at that time being very good on the farm. I enjoyed it because I had a love of animals. Obviously it was picked up, I was homesick and I was fretting, even though I was enjoying the farm, and I had missed my mother dreadfully.
In spite of Chamberlain's appeasement of Hitler, the stakes were raised yet again, because in September 1939, German and Russian forces started their invasion of Poland.
We're wondering whether it would actually come to a war, but then of course we heard Neville Chamberlain, who realised that the German promises were of no value at all, decided that he would carry out his obligations to Poland, and that if Germany invaded Poland, then Britain would be at war with Germany.
After a final warning to Hitler, which was ignored, Britain and France declared war on Germany at 11 o'clock on September the 3rd, 1939.
The state of war once more exists between Great Britain and Germany.
For it is evil things that we shall be fighting against. Brute force, bad faith, injustice, oppression, and persecution.
Only 25 minutes after war had been declared came the first air raid warning. For obvious reasons, we have cut out the sound of the sirens.
We were in Brixham on holiday, and my father said, oh, we'd better go home early because it was the end of August. He thought something was happening. So we came home, and of course on the Sunday, at 11 o'clock I think it was, the 3rd of September, war was declared, and we went in the garden and put on our gas masks and just didn't know quite what was going to happen next, you know, just waiting.
This was an opportunity for the people of Britain to demonstrate their traditional calm in the face of danger. There was no sign of panic. Men and women in the streets made their way quickly to the nearest shelter and queued up in orderly processions at the entrances.
First warning, we all took shelter, and some of the elderly people come down with their gas masks on, you see.
Although the alarm proved to be a false one, it was of great benefit as a full-dress rehearsal and a swift reminder of what war now means to the civilian.
Unhappy about it, very unhappy. Because we didn't, we'd have been unhappier still if we'd known what was coming.
On the whole, Britain takes the declaration of war quietly enough. But in places, the cheerful readiness of the nation to face these new facts is made evident. Already, Cockney humour is adjusting its wit to the new conditions. On the other hand, grim evidence that the nation is in earnest can be seen in every street. Meanwhile, here's the last picture of Herr Kort, the German chargé d'affaires, as he leaves the embassy and drives away en route for Berlin. For many of these people, it's a case of going to the office now and performing ARP duty later on in the day. Soon the whole country will be absorbed in its own defense, but by no means the least important aspect of this is the everyday work of the nation.
One day I was selling flags at 8 o'clock in the morning at Surbiton Station for the Red Cross, having been up half the night and at this canteen and all the rest of it. And a man came along and said, haven't you got anything better to do? Which rather upset me. Well, I suppose he just thought that's all I was going to do that day.
It would take more than a war to stop the Premier and his wife from enjoying their morning walk. London's precautions against enemy air raids grow more thorough every day, and strong points like this inspire increasing confidence. Fashions in gas mask containers are topical. Compare what the smart waitress is now wearing with the popular cardboard model favoured by most customers.
I used to have lunch in Fuller's in the Strand, and we all had to get under our tables when the siren went.
And then there are fashions in window papering. An infinite variety of patterns has already appeared. Sandbags, of course, are everywhere.
I've got a gas mask protector. Protect anybody in London.
Prince Honolulu has evidently adapted himself to the new conditions. He would.
I give you a gas mask. Are we afraid of Hitler? No! Are we downhearted? No!